Yes, if you're strictly buying brand new under $200, especially considering ray tracing. But things get a little complicated when you factor in used or open box deals. A slightly pricier 3060 Ti when considering used pricing delivers noticeably more overall performance and thus value for just $35 more. But for ray tracing specifically, the A750 beats options like the open box RX 7600 and even Nvidia's brand new 5060 in price to performance. Raw performance and rasterization is slightly behind the 6600 though, and overclocking does bridge the gap, but don't expect RTS 3060 or 3060 Ti levels of performance, as those are ahead by 12 and 41% respectively at 1080p, and at 1440p they're 6 to 34% ahead even when you overclock the A750. It does outpace the 6600 this time however, as ARC usually performs a bit better at higher resolutions, but ray tracing is where it's at. At 1080p, the A750 easily surpasses the RX 6600 by 26%, but ultimately the 3060 and 3060 Ti are going to be still ahead by 14 to 36%. With 1440p ray traced, the gap closes considerably, but the A750 still holds a lead over the 6600 by 40% when overclocked. And the 3060 and 3060 Ti this time only held very marginal leads. If you're planning on overclocking as well, it's pretty simple all things considered. Just increase the power limit to 228 watts, set the performance boost to 40% and voltage to plus 20 in the Intel graphics software. They don't let you control individual core and memory frequencies on this card though, which is a bit of a bummer. But I guess that makes it simpler to overclock. And performance is pretty solid in applications like Blender, nearly matching the 3060 12GB and even outperforming its newer counterpart, the B570. But that's mostly down to the high shader unit count on the A750 and just overall better specs. But over the 6600, the A750 is 105% ahead when overclocked. SpecView perf results show solid performance in Maya, bringing it ahead of the 3060 and RX 6600, but it ultimately falls short in both SolidWorks and 3ds Max, with overclocking only improving things marginally, which is a stark contrast to what we saw in Blender. The Premiere Pro performance is where it shines. When overclocked, it nudges past the 1080 Ti and is overall ahead of the 3060 and RX 6600, which is partially thanks to its generous memory bus, and thus overall memory bandwidth, which really helps in coding and editing. So if you want to build a dirt cheap editing rig, the A750 might be the way to go. Now I'll throw the gaming charts up on the screen so you can skim or pause if you want, then I'll give you my take on how the A750 really stacks up overall in 2025, including its efficiency. so the overall performance is mostly serviceable. The A750, as we've seen, tends to do better at higher resolutions, for the most part, and in more intensive scenarios like Cyberpunk, and as we know, it holds up pretty well in ray tracing, handily outperforming the 6600 and even the newest 7600. Some scenarios give the 1080 Ti some leverage, but the A750 pulls ahead with overclocking, and its added ray tracing support and much newer architecture makes it a better choice overall. The 3060 easily pulls ahead in averages, but the A750 isn't far behind in lows, especially in games like CS2, again thanks to its more memory bandwidth. The 3060 Ti though is often several notches ahead in averages, but again thanks to the A750's bandwidth, sometimes lows aren't actually that far off, and generally fares better in low VRAM scenarios. The thing is, it's barely more efficient than the age-old 1080 Ti in rasterization, but the counter argument I guess is that it's not being fully utilized even when overclocked. The max power on the A750 is around 225 watts, and we're only seeing at most 170 watts, but that's probably down to Intel's struggles with Alchemist, the architecture of the A750, much of which Battlemage resolved while providing much more efficiency. That said, a 3060 and 3060 Ti aren't much more efficient either, but AMD's RX 6600 is, with its sub 100 watt power draw, so that's something to consider, and things only slightly improve with ray tracing, but at least it's not as bad as say AMD's newest 7600 or 7600 XT. So is the Intel Arc A750 the best value GPU in 2025? Well, if you're buying brand new under $200, especially for ray tracing or editing, the answer is yes. It offers strong ray tracing performance, decent 1440p results, and surprisingly good productivity for the price, especially when overclocked. But if you're open to buying used, GPUs like the 3060 Ti still offer better overall performance and efficiency for just a bit more money. Anyways guys, that's all for today. Make sure to like this video, get subscribed, turn on the notifications, and check out this video on the screen right now.